Well, we all know the Super Bowl is one of the most thrilling times of the year, but since the recent one passed, now we look at some of the greats. Today I'm going over my most thrilling Super Bowls in recent history. So, this is just my opinion, you all can have yours, but I wanted to make this video. I've been working on a 4 episode series that will be taking place. Last few times I've gone over the best NFC and AFC playoff games, my top 5 of each of those categories. But today we're doing the Super Bowls, so for now let's get started at number 5. At number 5, it was a Super Bowl that took place 2 years ago. Super Bowl 56 between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. I had to put this one on here because the Rams with Aaron Donald were trying to solidify his legacy as one of the greatest defensive players who ever lived. But this, I think, was a great time. This was a great Super Bowl. I wasn't a YouTuber yet at this time, but man, this one was one for the ages because they were going back and forth. It was a one-score game at the half. And then right on the first play, T. Higgins caught a pass on the left side of the field and ran it in for a touchdown, even though he got away with a little hold of the face mask on Jalen Ramsey. But karma would later come in and allow the Rams to score a touchdown to give them the lead, 22-20. And then you gotta finish it with the greatest defensive player who ever lived on this play. It was 4th down and 1. Joe Burrow was looking to pass, and he got sacked by Aaron Donald, solidifying his Hall of Fame legacy that he left behind. And the Rams ended up winning the Super Bowl for the first time since 1999. And that was a Super Bowl for the ages, and I'm happy that Aaron Donald finally got his ring as a Seahawks fan myself. But number 4, I wanted to put this one on here because we know this first matchup between these two clubs. Super Bowl 54 between the 49ers and the Chiefs. Now, this Super Bowl was the beginning of the legendary career of Patrick Mahomes. He was sensational in this game. They were down by 10 points with 7 minutes to go. Mahomes threw a touchdown pass to Travis Kelce in that first little slant, and then they intercepted Jimmy Garoppolo and ended up getting a touchdown a few minutes later, getting the lead, and then Garoppolo got wrapped up and sacked, turnover on downs, and then they sealed the deal with another touchdown, which gave the Chiefs their first Super Bowl win in over 50 years. And man, this was only the beginning of the legend that we know to this day as Patrick Mahomes. But number 3, this one still leaves a scar in my soul because I was only 10 at the time. You got Super Bowl 49 between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. A Super Bowl that still haunts my heart to this day. But I had to put this one on here because honestly, it was a great game. The Patriots were going back and forth with the Seattle Seahawks and the Legion of Boom. They were just, oh man, it was such a close game. And before you know it, the Seahawks had the ball last, tried to drive down the field, but they made the one mistake that the Seahawks have been clowned on a little bit. And I know people are going to get on me about this, but I'm willing to admit it. They made the biggest mistake not running the ball to Marshawn Lynch and throwing a pass which set up a game-ending INT by Malcolm Butler, which still is ultimately remembered as one of the most craziest endings to a Super Bowl in recent history. But I had to put this one on here, even though it still leaves a scar in my soul. But at least Russell Wilson still can't score from the 1-yard line. That was a double burn because that kind of burned me too. But anyways, Number 2, I put on here the most recent Super Bowl, Super Bowl 58 between the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I put this one on the matchup before this one at number 4, which was Super Bowl 54. 4 years later, these two teams met again, and the Niners were looking for revenge, but they didn't. They were trying their best to get the revenge. They were in the lead by 10, but we pretty much know about where this is going. After the Chiefs took the lead, the Niners eventually later on answered with a touchdown of their own, but they missed the extra point after it got blocked. And that ultimately was the deciding factor of this game because 2 field goals by both the Chiefs and Niners led this game to be forced into overtime, only the second overtime game to happen in NFL history, in Super Bowl history actually. Excuse me. This was the new Super Bowl with the new playoff section of rules. But we know the one before that, which is coming up next. But after the rule change, the Niners still wanted to receive the ball for reasons I don't know. But this was a make it or break it. They couldn't get in the end zone. Even if they did, it wouldn't have ended the game immediately. But they scored a field goal. But you cannot give Mahomes the ball in overtime with a chance for him to end the game. He threw it to Malcolm Smith for the game-winning touchdown. I called that play during my live stream of the Super Bowl. Be sure to go check that out if you want to see my live play call reaction to that play. But number 1, the first overtime game to ever take place in the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 51. Now, this was probably remembered as the largest comeback in Super Bowl history. Now, if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, you might want to look away because this is going to leave you a pain in your soul. Like the one I did at number 49. But anyways, the Falcons were in the lead at the half in a score of 28-3 with just a few minutes to go in the third. But we know Tom Brady, and he can do anything. And he led his team all the way back from 25 points down to tie the game and force overtime, which we all know what happened next. The Patriots got the ball in overtime. They scored on their very first drive, winning the Super Bowl getting Tom Brady's 5th Super Bowl ring. But before we end this video, I wanted to throw out a few honorable mentions that were not on this list. Super Bowl 49 is the first honorable mention because ultimately it was known as the first Seahawks Super Bowl win in franchise history. Another one I didn't put on here that I feel like should be an honorable mention was Super Bowl 52. The Eagles and the Patriots. I really like the way that game ended because who wouldn't if anybody wants to beat Tom Brady? And then the last honorable mention that I wanted to throw on here was the power outage of Super Bowl 47. I was not watching the NFL at that time, but I know the situation well, and was Jim Harbaugh was the battle of the Harbaughs, the Harbaugh Bowl. But Jim Harbaugh now with the Chargers, we'll see what happens there. But let me know of your guys' favorite Super Bowls down in the comments section below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below. And be sure to subscribe. Next time I'm on here with another one of these lists, I'll have each of my top playoff games from each year since 2010. I've been doing my research. I've been preparing. I should have that out in a few days. But until then, I'll see you all in the next one. So long for now.